We are starting over. Welcome to the new vanilla survival world. I've kind of started this series 3 times now, but I've never pulled the trigger fully until now. And I love my old world. The playlist is in the description. But I kind of got stuck into the YouTube mindset that kind of made it harder to enjoy the game for me. I would look through a bunch of resource packs and mods and stuff to make my world look and feel perfect. But it also ended up breaking some things in my world, and I constantly have to wait after mods to update and spend my time managing that, to the point that I just kind of gave up updating the game altogether with and stopped caring about the drops. Plus, since I had gotten into the habit of planning builds in creative with Axiom and using like Matica, it kind of stole some of the vibes, I guess, and made it into a process that wasn't as enjoyable for me. And it's also kind of hard and intimidating to build purely in survival next to a build that was planned and polished with tools. So, by keeping this series vanilla, I'm hoping to refresh that passion and regain the vibes of worlds past. Plus, we'll be able to follow updates when they drop. And that brings us to current day me. And here we are. And man, I don't know. It feels weird. It doesn't feel like home yet. So I was thinking that we should probably get like a little house down to start like sinking our teeth into this place and starting to like make it feel like home somewhat. Actually, now that I logged back in, this place is still pretty cute. I wasn't sure when I logged off last if this was going to be the place that I wanted to stay at. Plus, there's a lot of like little plainy spots here, so like horse riding and stuff would be really well here. But it's still a really new world, and part of me still thinks, maybe I could find something better if I would explore a little bit. I'm gonna go and walk in the straight line in one direction for like a little bit and see if we find anything interesting. And if not, then we'll come here and set up camp for our little starter house place. Actually, you can craft saddles now, can't you? Yeah, you can. All right. Oh, fine. Well, then we'll go on horseback. I was just talking about the horses. Let's see. What do they like? Sugar and incessant bothering. There's a bunch of donkeys here too, so it is kind of tempting to stay here. This is a nice place. Not a great jumper, but that feels like a decent speed. Alright, so actually, I didn't make it very far. Oh, look at that. Okay. Kind of got turned around. I guess I do kind of care about this place now. It's starting to anyways. I think mostly it's like a commitment issue. Like, I feel like if and I don't know why I do this, it's just a game, but I feel like if I settle down here, then this has to be it, but that's not the case. But anyways, I also have like this idea that I really want to get out of my head, and I think I see like some cool little potential structures here for our future big base. But for now, let's find a place to settle this guy down, figure out a name for him, and yeah, let's get to finishing our little starter house so we can actually start playing the game. Alright, so I was just planning out the house with some dirt and some birch, and it's very square. It's intentional. I'm basing it off some concept art that I found online, and essentially, I'm trying to resist the urge to instantly try to go to something that's like big and too big for me right now. I'm trying to like resist the YouTube brain a little bit and play like how I used to play before I started doing the channel, where I'd build like a little house and have like little farms around it and some animals. We're gonna do that for our starter house here. So I'm just trying to figure out the shape and whatnot before actually committing it down with like the building materials. I was pretty stuck between figuring out if I want to build like a house or have a base, like a mine cave kind of thingy. So we're starting with the house, but I think we are going to transition to an actual bunker of some sort. So that's why I started doing my other world before stopping, and I do really like the idea of it. But I like being able to see outside as well, so we're going to try to mix it. I think what I'd like to do is have a base in the side of this mountain here, so like you could see windows and maybe a few floors from the outside. But like the actual base goes deep into the mountains, and we can like always expand downwards, but with a view of the exterior. That's kind of what I'm planning to do. Maybe even starting next episode. I think this is going to be like a really like iterative base once we get it started. And it might change, but I don't plan on going to the end anytime soon. And this is definitely a challenge because I'm really sticking away from creative, and like this is a vanilla series, so there's no Lightmatica, no Axiom. Not that I have anything against that, and I'm not trying to start any beef with anyone. Don't do that. But for myself, I just think this, I enjoy doing it more. And I want to regain my confidence in building and survival. I might go into creative to test some ideas out, but like we're not going to copy builds over. Also, this is a vanilla series, but I was thinking once the mods are up to date, I do want, now hear me out, I do want just flashback and maybe camera utils to get like detached camera, but just those two. How do you guys feel about that? Is that good for vanilla asterisks? Because it just makes it fun to make videos. I like doing the cinematics and the different angles, which I can't do without those. But for the actual series, it'll be vanilla in terms of gameplay, and yeah. That way, when updates come out, I don't have to worry about updating my mods. I just can update the game, and we can do without flashback if it doesn't update in time. I think this shape is not that bad. I'm still getting used to all these new animals. Look how chunky that thing is. Also, just over here, I don't know if I'll find them, but I did come over here before, and there seemed to be Nautilus, which last time I played Minecraft, they weren't in the game yet. So I'm not sure exactly how they work, but we have like that pond in front of where our house is going, and I think it'd be very, very possible to eventually get one of the Nautilus and like bring it over to our area over there. Okay, I don't see any, but I swear I did. I think it might have been actually over there. Anywho, some granite over there, and I think it would make a nice little red color for the roof. I might be having a theme or a little phase going on because in my Techtopia video, I also use diorite as a base, which is white, and granite as the roof. I kept my first pickaxe and my first stone pickaxe. I thought like it'd be cool to maybe keep all of our tools to I don't know, have like a memorial or something. It seems like a thing people do, right? But I'm starting to realize quickly how insane that would be, like especially early game with all our stone pickaxes. So I think what we might do, let me know what you think. We'll keep this one, which is the first wooden pickaxe. We might even keep the first stone pickaxe. Maybe we'll keep it the first of every iteration. So like this one, once it gets low, we'll put it up here. But I think the armor though, the armor, if we can avoid them breaking, might be cool to keep, because armor, technically you go through a lot less than the tools. And that, I think it could be cool to look back and look at all my sets of armor. Is that goofy? Does that make sense? What do you think? I think we don't have enough materials yet, but I think we have enough to get started and to start laying this out. I think it'll be quaint. It'll be quaint. Alright, so it's starting to take shape, and the more I have it in, the more I actually like it. It kind of feels like how it used to feel playing Bedrock in my first solo world. And I really like the windows. I kind of like wanted to try to thin them out a little bit. I do like how it looks. It is a bit odd up close because you have like this, because you have like this big open space here. But my wife said she liked it, so it's staying. And like the color palette, we're gonna detail it a little bit for sure. But I think this little concept here is very simple, but it feels Minecrafty enough and cozy enough. So, now to figure out our upper levels. Since we've done these two windows here, I don't think we're gonna add extra windows to the sides, even though it could be nice. But I think if we have normal windows at the side here, it'll be odd next to these types of windows. And if we do this on the side, then we really cut in our space to just this big on the inside. And though I want it to be snug, I do want to have enough space to put our stuff in to start with. Alright, we're back. It's a nice Thursday morning just before Easter, and I have a little bit of time for class. So it's been about a day and a half since I've last played, so let's see how this has grown on us, if it has. So I do still like the shape, even though it's a bit like really square. And I think the windows are growing on me. I think we're just missing a bit of, I guess, depth coming out from the window sills and maybe the door frame. But there's not much space to do anything without it being like too bulky. I did try like slabs, but even the trapdoor. Oh, it's nighttime. even a trapdoor, it comes out a lot. And I'm not crazy about like enclosing the door like this. But saying that, I had a thought. What if we take some oak? Let's make some oak shelves, and maybe switching these out for oak will allow us to retain the shape, but add a bit more texture and whoops, contrast to the build and act more like a window frame. All right, so that's like a very Minecrafty solution, I find, but I think having these pillars here, it's not what I wanted to do initially, but I think it makes it look more supported and adds in a bit more oak to kind of tie in the colors here, make it fit more. I think I like this. You guys have been here for 3 days in a row, dude. You think I can sneak into bed? I've been taken hostage in my own house. We're gonna start working a bit on the inside to actually make it livable, so I can move my stuff from outside, start sleeping under a roof instead of under the rain. And yeah, that way we can actually start exploring and going caving and doing some other Minecrafty fun. Now, are they gonna leave after a certain time, or I think I have to fight, don't I? Alright, they're taken care of. Alright, so that's about enough mining for me. We got just enough iron to get, well, our armor to go mining some more, because copper armor kind of sucks. And an anvil and some shears, so that we can get our final touches done for the little starter house we have going on here. And actually, let's go and check the inside of it, see what we've done. So here's our first floor. Not too many decorations, but we haven't done much exploring. Though we are 43 days in already. On this side, we have our little workstations here with our crafting bench, a smithing table. The anvil, should I put it up here or maybe just there? I like it there. Have some bookshelves, and actually, I had oak like this as the flooring, but then when I made these bookshelves, I remembered how good the textures on the side and the top were. So we swapped all those out for our flooring, and I think it looks just a little bit neater. And up top, we have our little bedroom. Not too much going on. Let's actually go to bed. We'll add some more decorations as we get more things. But for now, this is quaint. We have our little valuable chests here on our bookshelf. This was our actual old copper armor. So when I mentioned that I want to keep it, this is how we're going to do it for this. And we'll find somewhere to store our future armors. Probably in the base that we're going to end up making here. And that's about it. Here's our first pickaxe, and we have our little balcony out here so we can look out at the land. I think it's cozy. What I do want to do is, now that we have shears, go chase down some sheep and get their wool to get some carpets. We'll bring some over for some farms later, but for now I just really want the wool. Cool, now with the sugar cane we've been gathering and some nuggets in here, I think we can actually craft name tags now. Yeah, we can. We can officially name our first horse Dorito. This wall is a bit plain, and I don't know what we could put there just yet. I don't have a need, I think, for anything just this instant, so boom. That's a bit big. I swear the raiders have been here like 6 or 7. Nah, I'm not. Oops, they've been here like 7 or 8 times already. Anyway, they've been here too many times for the amount of days that we've been here, and it's getting annoying because I can't go outside. I can, but you know, like I don't know why they're here so much. Yeah, I didn't think they're gonna follow me down here. Alright, so we're just about ready to finish up for this first episode here, but there is a few things I do want to get done before calling it, just because I have like this little vision in my mind that I kind of want to see come to fruition for this first episode. So let's start with our shovel here, and I guess pathing out a little path in the front of the house and maybe around it. That's about as far as we'll go for today. Now, it does stick out a bit weird from the rest of the terrain for what I want to do, so let's get that fixed up next. Hey, that should do it. It's a bit smoother and safer. So you've likely seen the thumbnail, so you know what we're gonna decide on, but what I want to start doing is getting some cobblestone and just like map out a little bit of like kind of gardens here, and then we're gonna figure if we either fill them up with wheat or flowers. Alright, so I'm not sure about the idea, but I think it's something that we're gonna have to try to see if we like it or not. Alright, so here it is, all done. I think it turned out better than I expected. There was a... Nice. there was a little second there that I wasn't sure. We just had the walls up, but I think it actually frames it together quite well. Unfortunately, from this far away, all of our signs are not rendering, so we can't see it like it's supposed to be seen. There it is. But we have our first little starter area, and it only took us about 60 days. I think of all the starter bases and starter areas that I've done, this is the most like aesthetically complete and pleasing one I've done so far. It's actually like a zone and not just a little house. I like it a lot, especially when this is all like grown. I think it'll look really nice. We just have to be careful with the wandering traders because they just pop in and start trampling over everything. So maybe I'll add something to make it higher, but I don't want it to be too much higher. Also, I've raised it pretty much and just used slabs to make it a bit higher than I am, and then maybe add some stairs, some walls in some places to make it look a bit broken up and tall enough. And I went around and added some gravel. Since we don't have any pale moss, this was a kind of way to just texture it a bit and break up this color, and I think it looks nice. And moving up to the house, we did add a few little details here with the fences and the shrubbery, and I think it looks really cozy, especially at night with the firefly bushes. Not too much, just a few of them, and you can hear them buzzing around, which I'm not sure if that's new or not. But yeah, I think this is a really good place to call it for our first episode in this world. Actually, I managed to make a little book here, and I wrote down... Yeah, actually, day 59. Yeah, okay. So we just finished our home. Now we just have to wait for the wheat to grow, but it's actually not taking that long. Oh, and the sun is setting, and we have our little balcony here. Let's actually go and check outside at night, just before all the creepers and stuff spawn. Yep, it's a vibe. You know what? A painting right here would be perfect. There we go. That works. And well, with that done, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the beginning of our vanilla series. I'm guessing you do a little bit if you made it this far. And if you have made it this far and you do enjoy it, I want your opinion on something. So like I mentioned before, I do kind of want to install 2 new mods, which would make this not vanilla anymore. But they're not gameplay mods. They're really just camera mods so I can make the videos more fun, which I enjoy doing, especially during the editing process. I'm thinking about adding on flashback and camera utils now that they are up to date with the current version. Plus, if they do get out of date with new updates, it doesn't really change the game, so I can just update anyways without having to worry about it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to lean into doing it, so we'll call this maybe a vanilla asterisk series, but I'd still like your input. But with that being said, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!